Hello, everyone, and welcome out to episode 357. I know you are shocked like me. We've done 357 of these, but either way, welcome out. We have a guest here, and we'll get to him in a second. But first, please be sure to check out Packrat Comics. Visit our show notes for more information, or check them out online at packratcomics.com. And if you want to throw some love our way and, well, support us in the process and get some also audiobooks, with over 200 titles to choose from, Audible is where it's at. You can sign up for a 30-day trial and a free audiobook of your choice by going to audibletrial.com/goodbadgeeky. That's audibletrial.com/goodbadgeeky. And then Moose and Squirrel almost here as we finish editing the first half of the second season. Squirrel and Moose are on the loose in a brand new unauthorized adventure, which is our season 2 finale. Join Rocky the Flying Squirrel and Buinkle as they answer a distress call from their old foe, Boris Badenov. But is it a trap? Well, as Boris would say...
If I could describe myself in one word, rule breaker.
Come see what... I was like a weird narrator in Bullwinkle.
Come see in person why our show was the 2016 Audioverse Award winner for Best Writing of a Fan/Adaptation Production with proceeds from our show going to the Mid-Ohio Food Bank. Enjoy Rocky, myself, and almost all of our pals in our latest ascension in entropy, all done rather recklessly, possibly with a W, in our season finale.
We like to call... Terminal of Endearment, or a moose, a squirrel, and a snake on a plane. The show is being performed in front of a live studio audience at Saturday, November 18th. Doors open at 2:50, 3 o'clock, and unofficially, let's just say if you like the original animated show, there might be something if it happens to visual aid of the and if it was, it might be a visual aid of the Great Box Top Robbery. But doors open, or the show starts at around 3:30 at Mad Lab, located at 227 North 3rd Street, Columbus, Ohio, 43215. Tickets are $5, and I think pretty soon it will be available on the website to buy. Or you can show up in person and give one non-perishable food item. All proceeds go to the Mid-Ohio Food Bank. And listen to past episodes on iTunes over at gbgpresentspod.com.
Charity? Blech.
What do you mean charity? Well, actually, the whole show's charity.
That was bad. Well... Did you know that we're proud members of the It's All Been Done Presents Network? I'm going to commit to it. Well, speaking of the network, welcome to the Quarterly Book Club. Why quarterly? Because you're busy and books are long. IABD Presents invites you to a read-along every quarter with a running theme for each year. 2017's theme is thrillers. That's right, the Michael Jackson song. And book number 4 is Misery by Stephen King. No, you just can't watch the movie, and why would you? Okay. I would like to talk about the movie Misery, because it's what we do here. Back to the ad. Where's it at? Dive into the original work with the master of the genre, Stephen King. To participate in the discussion, go to quarterlybookclub.com. Connect on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook with hashtag QBC. It's all been done anyway, so go to IABDpresents.com and please support us at our programming at patreon.com/IABD. And I'll throw this out there too. If you see some rewards that are not there and you want to see, I know for a fact Jimmy's he wants to, because if you feel that way, someone else might feel like so. Post comments there, and he will try to get it done best he can. But no, I'm kind of intrigued by that. But also, my little snide comment was kind of like, why not talk about the movie? Because I feel a lot of people who didn't know of the book read the book because of the movie, which is it is actually a good movie.
Most people do.
Actually, yeah, I'm kind of that way sometimes too. I read Jurassic Park because of the movie, and now I'm like a huge Michael Crichton fan. But we have on the show, if you didn't know already, which I should have just said your name first and then. But I like to switch it up here. Yeah. We have Shane Stefanchik. That's right. What's that? William Guess? Let him guess. Yeah. I was like, William Guess? That's a new name. I don't know that one. I was like, that's one really... Well, I'm not going to lie, Shane. My brain's not all there right now because we did not record anything before this. No. I have a feeling I'm going to get some names wrong. So, that's why it was a legitimate question when I said William Guess. Who is that?
As long as you don't accidentally pass it to me at one point, then
I think we'll be fine too. I mean, you're usually on point though. Usually on point, but I might get that one. What are the odds?
I don't know.
What are the odds? You know what? You'll probably find out. But today we're going to talk about the amazingly awesome show Gravity Falls. If you like to have thoughts on Gravity Falls, well, I would like you to have thoughts on Gravity Falls. I mean, if you would like to have your own, check it out on Hulu streaming. You can get, I think, the few volumes on Amazon to buy. Plug the website, the mysteryofgravityfalls.com, if you want to get more into the codes and stuff. If you've not seen the show yet, though, I would say pull that website up, watch the show, and then dig into the mystery of gravity. Literally, the mystery of Gravity Falls.
We're going to spoil a lot, so
yeah.
So definitely watch the show. I think
And it's not one of those shows like Lost where it's
Yeah.
like, oh, you spoiled this grand mystery. Like you would be spoiled.
I would say the Six Finger Man mystery. We kind of talk about that, and that's in the very first episode.
Right.
There's a book,
so
but
I don't know that it wouldn't be the worst thing.
Yeah.
In here, but I would say watch the show.
I agree. Yeah, and if you're one of those devil may care, and you're maybe sometimes you don't mind spoilers, then stick around. You're going to be. It's a great show, and just like the people who have seen it, and I want to hear what we think about it. But again, that's Gravity Falls, starring Jason Ritter, Kristen Shaw, and Alex Hirsch, and we'll stop there because then the rest is spoilers. But we'll hear Shane and I talk about the show, and also in the show notes, be sure to check out Shane's Static Copy Island and their new short Unknown Number, which we'll post there as well. And if you have any thoughts or comments as I also now like to call it, because it's actually a comment and a question.
Yep.
People do that now. Email us at goodbadgeeky@gmail.com or Twitter us at goodbadgeeky, or I don't know why you would do it, but in case that's your jam, Instagram at goodbadgeeky.
Yeah.
You see a theme here, Shane. It's all about branding. And before people knew about branding, I had all of them just Good Bad Geeky.
That's brilliant.
It is. And even my Snapchat, Good Bad Geeky, I actually use it to see what everyone else is doing.
Pretty much.
Or I use it for the filters and then I post it on Snapchat, Instagram. Hello. Welcome out to the show. Episode 357. It's Gravity Falls. Yeah, definitely. I was trying to do Seuss. I'm sorry, that was bad. Here's Gravity Falls. Okay, as you heard in the intro, which we have not, which we've totally recorded already. Of course, we have Shane Stefanchik, who you might know him as in our Ghostbuster episode, our DuckTales episode, and the Red Roo series episode. I feel like you were in one more, but probably. But we've done so many other things together. Right? It's confusing. All the lines blur. But today we're going to talk about a show he's told me about a million times, and I didn't listen to him. Well, I didn't listen to you. It's just
Time.
Oh, it's partly time, and you. There were two advocates. So we're talking about Gravity Falls, as you heard in the intro, and you and my cousin were advocates for this show. And Mike, I don't like new animation. Sometimes I get a little bit like get off my lawn. I feel I've like SpongeBob SquarePants. I did not like that show. Wander Over Yonder. I've actually watched them, and they're like, damn it, these are actually kind of good. And so now I'm a little bit more like, let's give things a chance, guy. And Gravity Falls was like, I don't like the animation style. It bugs me.
From the preview, I didn't start watching it till about halfway through, close to the end of the first season.
Yeah.
And then I caught up. And I don't remember why or what made me start watching it.
Yeah.
It might have just been one of those things I found online or I saw a clip. It might have just been the cast, too.
They do have an amazing cast.
Yeah, I mean, it's mainly, Jason Ritter and Kristen Shaw.
Yes, yeah.
And
Dipper and Mabel, yeah.
And they're fantastic. I liked Jason Ritter the first time I saw him in Parenthood was the first thing I saw.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
I love him. Well, okay, I like him in everything. Mm-hmm. He did a movie with, I think it was the now ex-wife of Joshua Jackson.
Okay.
I think it's on Netflix, but it's a movie where I think it's called Good Stuff or Good Things, but pretty much he plays a video store clerk, and the only time this girl, she's a shut-in, she ever goes out is she rents movies, but she only rents porn. And she doesn't watch to get off. She just watches it to watch it.
Interesting.
And so he starts suggesting movies, but he genuinely likes her.
Yeah.
And it's one of those kind of things, and they fall in love, but he might have a dark secret, but she also has a secret too. Yeah, it's one of those. It's still good, but I've kind of seen everything through that because of Parenthood.
Right.
And then he left to do, I think, that really bad sci-fi show,
Yeah.
which is not his fault. He's good in it.
Right, yeah. He's fantastic. Both as a voice actor and a live actor, which...
You don't expect that from...
Those skills are not... People... a lot of people don't think about that, but you can't just plop a movie actor into a voice acting role, because
It's very true.
They tend to emote differently.
It's all with your voice. You're acting still.
Yes, you're still acting. So there is a baseline there,
Right.
but
It's not just you getting to walk in your jammies and
right.
and fucking perform, which a lot of people feel that way.
Oh yeah.
And
I can read. Well, yeah, you can read, but can you read?
And then can you do a silly voice while doing it?
Right.
Sean Astin does the voice of Raphael, and he's actually doing more voiceover stuff now. But when he walked in for Raphael, I think he even said in an interview, he's like, on Rob Paulson's podcast, he's like, you really have no idea how much this is a huge thing for me, because I've learned so much how to voice act, because I was just coming in doing Sean Astin.
Yeah.
And because that's what I did when my dad did the Addams Family 90s cartoon. I did a walk on role, and I was with Rob Paulson.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you're that cute kid who's in Rudy, and your dad's Sean Astin, and so, or John Astin. It's a little confusing. It rhymes.
John.
Yeah, John Sean. That sounds like a rapper. No, that's Sean Paul. Shake that thing. Yeah. Sorry, I got on a weird tangent. But he's like, I have to actually do something different with my voice, and people have no concept of that. And he's like, and now I know how to voice act versus act. And it's not whatever. And he's like, I'm kind of with everybody else now. It's just like, you can't, like, I get why they get mad when Brad Pitts get cast into a DreamWorks movie when like there's like all these other amazingly talented people. They can't, it's hard to do, but he does a good job of it. Like
he does. And Kristen Shaw's really good too.
And even though Kristen Shaw, her trademark is her voice,
it's a
trademark voice, but she's so good.
Yeah, if you listen to, so if you're not familiar with Kristen Shaw, anyone who's listening,
that's true.
She also, one of her first big things was on Flight of the Conchords, which was a live action.
I need to go back and watch that.
It's a good one.
Because now I've seen a lot of some like clips. It's hysterical.
Well, and especially now because you know who those actors are. Like, you know who Jermaine Clement is. You know who,
what's Brit? Yeah, I don't remember his last name. Right. I just know he like writes a lot of music outside of Flight, and then he performs too. But he's mostly producing, directing, and writing.
Yeah.
For movies.
And the actor who plays Murray from Flight of the Conchords.
I saw him recently in
he's been making the rounds. He's been in a couple movies.
Netflix TV show with the children's book, Series of Unfortunate Events. He plays the possibly gay, you're not really sure, servant of the Miami Vice guy.
Right.
Wow, so many failed actor names right there, and not failed actor like I am failing horribly. So you should be drunk by now.
Yeah,
because of the drinking game. Yeah, sorry.
But no, yeah. So she started off in that, and then one of the other big things that she has right now is she is
Bob's Burgers. Yes,
and Last Man on Earth,
which is fantastic.
It really is.
It's one of those shows. Although I have to admit, I enjoy it while I'm watching it, but actually the last 2 seasons were not bad, but the first 4 seasons, I would say, of The American Office is, I don't like cringeworthy. I mean, enjoy it, but I don't. And so, like, Michael Scott is, like, there are a few times where Will Forte, and they finally had an episode this season where it got really cringeworthy, and literally it's me just, you can't see it, but I'm looking up, and I'm hearing it, and I'm laughing, but I can't watch it.
Right.
It takes me I think it took 4 times to watch the Christmas episode of Michael Scott getting the iPod before I could actually watch it, because it's just so, you just feel so bad for Phyllis. Yeah. And I'm not there yet with Man on Earth, but I love it. She's so good.
She really is.
Yeah.
And like, yes, her trademark is her voice, but if you were to listen to a clip of her as Mabel, her as the Belcher, and her as her character from Last Man on Earth, they are different enough that you can tell.
They're subtle, but they're there. Yeah, and so there is an actual performance going on.
Right, and it's subtlety. So yes, you might be able to recognize that. Oh yeah, that's Jason Ritter. But if you just heard him in an interview, it's different enough.
I'm not gonna lie. When I saw the clip and I made my very snap, I'm an old man and I don't like it. I was like, I don't know who that voice actor is, but I don't like him. And then I had no idea it was Jason Ritter.
Yep.
And I was just like, I don't, like young kids and their puppy, like Greg Cripes. You know who Greg Cripes is? He does Beast Boy and he's Michelangelo in the New Turtles.
Okay.
But he has also a very distinctive voice, dude. But I think that's his voice for everything.
Yeah.
But that's his trademark. He makes a lot of money doing that. But
well, it's like, John H. Benjamin, I mean, his voice. It's Archer, and it's Bob from Bob's Burgers.
And for Deep Cut, well, now it's Deep Cut, Dr. Katz.
Yes. Home movies.
Oh, yeah, Coach McGurk. I love Coach McGurk, dude. Not a lot of people love Coach McGurk.
You know his voice. You know it. It's really not that different between series. There's a subtle difference between Archer and Bob's Burgers.
Oh, yeah.
Not really.
There are very subtle... I think, like, Bob's Burgers, I mean, he just straight up goes for his natural voice, kind of like he did in Dr. Katz. But McGurk, there is a bit of a difference in how he... Well, it's actually much more how he performs it.
Yeah.
Not in terms of just speaking... duh. But, like, pronunciation, not pronunciation, but diction a little bit. That's what I meant.
Actually, I watched an episode of Family Guy today, in fact, and he had because he kind of guest stars as that one character, that sort of stoner character, and he got up on... It was like a stand-up act. He got up and he was like, all right, this is my impression of the guy from Bob's Burgers. Hi, I'm Bob from Bob's Burgers. And now I'm going to do Archer. Hi, I'm Archer from the show Archer. And, like, literally the exact same voice. And that was sort of the joke. But
yeah, which, I mean, and let's be clear, now, if he would have actually busted out a real voice, then he would have been Andy Kaufman. Yes. Which, that's another little bit of a deep cut for our audience members, probably. Well, that's a big thing right now, too, because they're releasing that documentary on that, which looks... I am, too. Nobody... I feel like Andy... Well, do you think... Okay, random side. Do you think Andy Kaufman's still alive?
I don't know.
See, this is always
He could have been.
And then he didn't actually pass away.
Yeah. Same with, like, Elvis. You know, like, maybe he could have still been alive. By now, I feel like he's probably passed. But
that's true. I mean, well, supposedly he would have revealed himself, I think, like, within the last 5 years when that Zamuna's last book came out. Because they even said he's going to come out soon, and then nothing happened. Yeah. Just the book came out. And I get to, someone said, Sam Simon, who sadly passed away, but he's done Simpsons and Taxi. And he's like, look... All that crap is made. Like, he always told us what he was doing. He was always a professional on the set, but he would always tell us if he was going to act out, he would say, hey, be ready tomorrow. Yeah. I'm going to probably... And he's like, Zamuda has an invested interest in keeping Andy alive.
Right.
And I get that. And also, but here's the thing, though. It is kind of cool because if he is still alive and he's just watching this all go down, he is laughing it up, probably. Oh, yeah. That jerk. But also, it's just so hard to fake your death. Actually, no, not anymore. With Trump, it's fake news everywhere. So he could come out tomorrow and everyone would like hashtag fake news and just keep going.
Exactly.
It's just another thing to block us from the horrible things that are happening right now.
One thing you can focus on is watching Gravity Falls on Hulu because...
wait a circle on back. I should just have you in the background. Like, if I was Howard Stern, you're the segue machine. It's like... And that relates to our sacred Lord Gravity Falls and Bill Cipher because, Nick, Gravity Falls.
Excellent.
Actually, for those who are listening, I think it was the last episode. Shane is our time hawk in the RPG episode, which was really...
You try to, you don't want to be so boring to just be like, oh, you guys got 2 minutes.
That's true. Well, I didn't know what Seamus was going to do in response to that because that's the thing is technically I'm driving, but I'm not driving. Mm-hmm. I'm really just keeping Nathan on track.
Right.
But I didn't know what Seamus was going to do. I just, because Seamus was like, I'm fine with that. Shane's time hawk. And then he's like, oh yeah, and you've heard the bird of the hour. And I was like, what? It's so great. Anyway, and that relates to Bill Cipher in that he too can float and fly like a bird, like a time hawk. Exactly. Okay, well, so that's the other thing too is I don't think a lot. So for those who don't know what Gravity Falls is, which if you're listening to this, spoilers abound, but the show is about these two twins. How far apart are they? It's like a few minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not exact like twins, but they're, a few minutes apart though, but they go to see their Grunkle Stan, who...
stands for, it's a shortening of Great
Uncle. That's true. Grunkle, yes. And he lives in Oregon, in Gravity Falls, in a place called the Mystery Shack, and it's every horrible tourist trap you've ever heard or been to. And he's a con man, but he's he's a pro. Like, everyone knows it. He's a shuckster, and they're kind of everyone's okay with it, and he gets money off of it. He's doing a good job.
Town has a wacky cast of characters.
They are. They're very unique. It's almost like the Bob Newhart show. Yeah. Like everyone has a very distinct character, and they all know each other, and all this and that. And when Dipper and Mabel get there, they start noticing really weird stuff, and then they also find this journal.
Right, Dipper in the first episode, he finds this book, this journal, and it's got a six-fingered hand on the top,
and it says 3. 3. Yes,
and so he's sort of like, ooh, what's this? And he realizes that it's telling about all the weird stuff in Gravity Falls and how, the stuff that in the first couple days that they're there, he starts to think, oh, this seems strange, and turns out he finds this book, and he's right. It is strange.
Oh, yeah. Which is just so... Yeah. Now, I will say this, too. So you and my cousin were telling me about the show, and I was like, yeah, sure, I kind of already saw an episode, I didn't love it. In fact, iTunes gave me the pilot. They gave it was one of their free downloads back when they did that, and they were cool. So your shine's wearing off, Apple. But I watched that, and that's when I was like, I don't know. And then my cousin was like, and you were telling me about it, and finally I saw it was on Hulu, and I watched it, and over a year, I think I watched 3 episodes, and part of it was time, but also I wasn't getting into it.
Right.
And then I think it was like a month or 2 ago, I had some extra time, and I watched, I kind of was forcing myself through it. It was okay. Then I got up to the Duplicate Dipper episode, the copy of Dippers, and I don't know why, but that it made me laugh so hard, and then I went back and started over again, and then I just finished it within like a week and a half. Yep. So good, and it's aggravating. It's aggravating how good it is.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, it's so it builds very quickly. In fact, like so I recently rewatched the first 3 episodes because our friend Kristen started to watch it, and so even as early as the first episode, I was noticing certain things. Like, the window in Dipper and Mabel's room is a giant triangle. And I was like, oh my gosh! And I love it when it's very obvious upon a second watch that they plan stuff throughout the whole...
Well, I mean, in the very first episode, the title card, if you freeze frame it, Bill Cipher's there with the circle.
Oh, yeah.
And so you're like, okay, wow. I mean, these guys have really gone out. And now, I will say there are little continuity things, but it's like small little things here and there. Like, at one point, they're holding the book. The next part, they're not holding the book. But little stuff like that. And I really do think that it's not disruptive of the flow of the show. And if you get a nerd like me, you're going to be like... Dear Internet, I don't like how Uncle Stan was holding the book and then he wasn't, but then he was in the next shot. Yeah, it's little stuff like that. But, I mean, and also the other thing which I really love, too, is cryptology.
Oh.
That show
is a treasure trove. Now, obviously, now that it's all solved and everything, it's a little less exciting, but you can still start from scratch if you watch.
If you're ballsy.
Yeah.
See, I watched all of it, and then I went online and looked into it a little bit, and there's a website called I think it's the mysteryofgravityfalls.com, and I think it's put out by Alex Hirsch with permission by Disney, but it gives you a generator that you can create your own codes, crack the codes of the show, and many more. And guys, it's really intensive. It's crazy.
Like, so the show ran...
Two seasons for 20 episodes per season.
Yeah. It was a little weird because the way that Disney released the episodes.
It was over like 4 years.
Something like that.
Which that drives me nuts. Nickelodeon does that shit too.
So 2 seasons, but so it's not that long. But yeah, trying to watch it when it was actually airing. But at the end of every episode, during the credits, at the very end of the credits, there's this cipher that gets posted. And, at first, I think a lot of people didn't really catch it or didn't really notice. Then when they did, it was this whole thing of trying to figure out what it meant, and each one was a little clue to the next one. And to
next episode, or it's talking about something worse coming down the turn, or sometimes it's a joke.
Right.
But I know one of them was what are the main 2 types they use in the first season? It's I can't remember what, but I remember when it says next week Mr. Da-da-da or Da-da-da will have a substitute teacher. Please welcome Mr. Aztec or whatever the name of the cryptology type is. And so it's like, oh, I need to use that to crack next week's code.
And it wasn't always the same one.
No, it wasn't. And then I think beginning of season 2 they started doing the numbers ones where it's pure numbers, and that's a little bit more challenging. And then midway through that, when Bill Cipher, it became very apparent that they're going towards the Bill Cipher being the big, well, I mean, he is the big bad, but like really the big bad.
Right.
They started busting out like where you need a 25 character code to crack the code at the end.
Yeah.
And that's when it's like Jiminy Christmas. Oh yeah.
And I think I think in the first episode to get it started, and I don't know if it's every episode, but in the first episode anyway, to get it started, if you listen to the theme song backwards, you can hear him say something like Shift A to Z. Like a little hint to get you started, like.
I didn't know that.
For the first.
Oh, you mean like where it does it sounds like, you mean right at the end of the clip where it goes, bing, Like that part?
No, it's just like a...
Because it does sound like someone's talking backwards a little bit.
Yeah, it's like...
I didn't know that.
In the theme song, right at the very end of the theme song, it's a...
Yeah,
There's like a whisper. And
that's where they show the theme song, and they show like multiple images, and one of them is Bill Cipher, and then it just...
And if you play it, but if you play it backwards, it's like...
I didn't know that.
Like something along the lines of like, switch hands.
Well,
to
yeah,
start this whole thing. And like, I'm bummed that I missed out on that part of it, because that...
Well, right, because it really is. It's an immersive experience that you're getting with other fans online. It's a lot of fun, you know, and I really love that. And I would think I was telling you, I was like, we do It's All Been on Radio Hour, and I was like, I want to know how we can figure out a way to do that with It's All Been Done.
Right.
And I know it's really hard because we're like more than a few months out than when I go posted, but I just think that would be so freaking cool. And I mean, that'd be really a lot of fun to do something like that.
That could be something that could easily be put in the Goofus sketch, probably.
Probably.
Not easily, but
yeah,
just it would fit.
Especially with Merlin's codes and stuff like that. But, oh, my friend, I've thought about that. But yeah, so it's about these two, and it's really about starving off the coming of Bill Cipher.
Right.
And how he wants to bring Weird Mageddon, which is, it's Armageddon, but he just makes shit really weird.
Oh, yeah.
In the process, killing people, technically, turning them into statues. One of the more horrific ones was Pacifica Northwest's father, played wonderfully by Nathan Fillion. He switches his holes around, so like his eyes and his mouth, but his mouth, I mean, it's terrifying when you see it. And it happens really quick, and there's a part of you that's laughing, but you're just like, oh Jesus, this is terrifying shit. So he likes to get things really weird, and
he shows up in the first season, but it's
almost like a one-off.
Yeah, so you don't really think too much of it, other than like, oh, okay, there's this like villain, like he's bigger than any of the, like, I wouldn't call it case of the week, because there is a little bit of an overarching story in almost every episode.
Oh yeah, no, there is. It's hard to see at first. And I would say honestly, until you get to the point Bill Cipher shows up, and then you're like, oh, there's something going on here. Because really the mystery in every episode is who wrote the book.
Right.
And then it's really more about, why does it say not to call Bill Cipher? Bill gets called, and then it kind of ends with, and then the other overarching arc is Gideon.
Right, yeah, Little
Gideon.
Well, isn't that special? It's like, I love Grunkle Stan. I hate him.
Yeah, little stuff like that, which is such a weird little character.
Oh yeah, so many of the voices are fantastic, and some of them are a little cartoony. It's a cartoon. But some
like Zeus.
Him. One of my favorites that I totally want to lift from the show is the little reporter guy. Oh no!
Oh yeah. I think that's Alex Hirsch, the creator too. He does so many.
Voices. He does Grunkle Stan.
He does Grunkle Stan. He does Bill Cipher.
He does Bill Cipher, and those are all pretty like different voices. Here's just so in comparison, Kristen Shaw, Mabel Pines.
Yeah, yeah.
Jason Ritter, Dipper Pines, additional voices, clones, Tyrone. Okay.
Oh, well, Tyrone is the other clone. Yeah. Which I thought was funny. He's like, I always wanted to be a Tyrone.
Alex Hirsch. All right, ready for this? Buckle in, everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Grunkle Stan, Seuss, additional voices, Old Man McGucket, Bill Cipher, Jeff the Gnome, Mayor Befuddlethumper, Nate, several times, Digicod, Gnomes, Jimmy, Lasertag, Announcer, Mayor, and I'm sure it goes on. That's just as much as shows right now.
I mean, there's so many wonderful voices in there. Jennifer Coolidge plays Lazy Susan, and do you know Will Forte's in there? He's the guy who plays the mayor. He's like, get him, go get him. He's that guy. And I'm like, well, no, that does sound like Will Forte.
Linda Carlini is Wendy.
Yes. TJ Miller is Robbie.
Right. Yeah.
Which, and here's the thing, this makes me sad, because if he won't do Silicon Valley anymore, if they ever do any more.
Oh, yeah.
Is he slumming it at that point? Yeah. Come on, TJ Miller.
John DiMaggio is
Wendy's dad.
He's a bunch. He's Manly Dan. He's Cowboy Skeleton Guy. Dad on the Pier. Harry Claymore.
Oh, yeah.
He's a bunch.
Kevin Michael Richardson is Sheriff Blubbs, and I know he does a lot of like the side or one-off characters. Alfred Molina is the multi-headed bear.
Yep.
Which that cracks me up. Matter of fact, okay, so I think that's how they got him to do Rick and Morty, because Justin Roiland is good friends with Alex Hirsch.
He does Blandin' and the time.
Yes, and that is actually a huge. Matter of fact, that was my biggest thing. Is if you watch that episode and watch the few episodes before it, he's in a lot of those episodes in the background doing. You can't see Dipper and Mabel, but like when they're watching, I think it's the first episode where the gnomes show up. You see Blendon's head pop up and look around and looking for the kids. From that episode, you can't see them run though, and I'm just like, it's been there the whole time.
Right?
But yeah, it's so
this whole thing.
Right. It's honestly, it's as in depth as Futurama, the first few seasons, where it was very clear they set up the Fry thing, and I'm just like, that's good storytelling when they pay that off.
Oh yeah, and so Justin Roiland and Alex Hirsch, they're good friends.
Yes,
they worked on some show together. I forget the name of it.
I think it's Fish Buddies or something.
That's what it was exactly.
It's Fish something or other. Yeah.
And they had. I was reading this. They said to each other like, "Man, if we ever get our own shows respectively, like we're gonna do some childish shit," and like with each other, like just not mess with the fans, but sort of just like give them little treats. For instance, I think at this point a lot of people are aware of in the first episode of Rick and Morty, when Rick is opening all the portals along the cliffside. He opens one portal and 3 objects fly out.
Well, it's actually the Total Recall. Or not Recall, it's the Total Rick. It's worth all the Ricks. When the Ricks are chasing after him, he opens a bunch of portals up. And when they go to the land of the dodos, and they come up, and it's like right before all the evil Ricks show up to come after him, you see what flies through the portal in season 2 with Grunkle Stan, which is it's a mystery Shack cup, a pen, and a mystery Shack pen and a notebook. And
so at first, because Rick and Morty aired first, and it's just sort of like, okay, those are random. They kind of look familiar, but it's probably just an Easter egg. Just like, oh, hey, my friend has a show, I'll give him a little nod. But then the internet just exploded.
As it should.
When in Gravity Falls, a portal was opened, and he threw those exact 3 items into the portal. Like,
it's such a good show, and
now, they've explained like that doesn't mean the universes are connected. It was just a little Easter egg.
But this last season there was another, and it's like Stan. What's their last name? Stan Pines. There was in one of Morty's Mind Blower episode. One of the memories says Stan P. It was like right in the forefront, so you could see it. And I was just like, and Roland was just like, I don't know, man. What do you think? I was just like, yes, but he might be being a dick at that point. Right. But still, it's just like it's very clear that probably is. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what show, but he is also Bill Cipher showed up in one of the background images a few times, like on computer screens and stuff like that. When they were scanning one of the people in the marriage one with Jim Rash, one of the computers that right before Beth and Jerry get hooked up, the other computer is reading Bill Cipher right there. And I'm like, that's terrifying. Oh, God. But yeah, so, and I would say this is the other thing about the show, too, is that, and we've kind of said that Bill Cipher's a bad guy, and that's not, I mean, it's kind of a spoiler, but not really. The bigger spoiler, though, is that twins is what family and twins is what the show is all about. Right. The six-fingered man is actually Uncle Stan's brother. Right. What's his name? Sorry, I thought you said Ford. But technically, well, that's the thing I was a little confused on, is that Stan took Ford's name? Because that was my only minor little story complaint, which is that he's like, well, yeah, Ford went nuts, supposedly.
So Stanford Pines.
Stanford, that's what it was.
Yeah, and so, Stanford Pines, played by the lovable J.K. Simmons.
Which, yes, another great actor, which, again, you're not expecting. But really, he's the one that wrote all the journals, and there's 3 of them. Yes. And if you put them all together, it shows you how to build a portal to bring about Weird Again, a.k.a. you bring Bill Cipher into our world, which... At the time, he thought was a good idea because he thought, oh, this is a good thing. And then you're like, oh, no, Bill tricked me, and it's going to bring this horrible thing through. So I got to stop it. And it's really a beautiful story about redemption and family. Yeah. And I mean, family on multiple fronts, because like any siblings do, there's that weird thing where even for twins, it's like, you're getting taller than me, but I'm the alpha twin technically, which that's a real thing. Kind of, which I didn't know about twins. That there is an alpha and whatever, but that's a real thing.
Well, and Dipper and Mabel are loosely based on Alex Hirsch
and his sister.
Own sister,
right?
He's a twin, and they did go to their parents sent them to stay like over the summer with random family members at cabins and stuff.
Right.
And specifically, I think they went to Gravity Falls was inspired, I think, by a place called Boring, Oregon.
Yes,
which is their motto is the most interesting place in Oregon or something like that.
Boring,
Oregon. So.
Yeah, but and that's what's really cool though too. It's about that. It's about yeah, in terms of wish fulfillment, she loved pigs, and she wanted a pet pig when she was growing up. So Alex is like, sister, I'm giving your character a pig in the show. Waddles the pig.
Yes.
Which is, he's a good character, too.
Yeah.
Actually, that's the time travel episode.
Yeah.
That they introduced him and that was something interesting, too, that I didn't remember till the end of it, and that plays in huge into the finale, which is Dipper always takes the sword for his sister Mabel because he just loves her so much. And you kind of get that the same, which ties into Stanford and Ford, because they do Ford was being the smarter one, was always doing that, watching out for his little. Right. That's what I'm saying. It's very thematic. Yeah. It all ties in together really well, and it ends on kind of a bummer. Yeah. I mean, a happy bummer, but I don't know, man. They left it very much open, but yes, it's so good. That's the only thing is I really can't. It just aggravates me because creatively, I want to do something that awesome. Right. Because I was like, man.
Well, and the thing is, they ended it in such a way that, yeah, they could do more.
Oh, yeah. I
really want them to. But on the other hand, I also just like it for what it is, and I just, I don't want more in a way. I do.
It's like Futurama. Right. You want more, and then when you get it, you're like, I love this. There are some problems, but do we need more? And then you give them more, and you're like, yeah, we just want more Futurama. It's the same thing. It will be the same thing here with Gravity Falls. Like, it's probably good where it's. I'm surprised, too, is that they actually told Disney, this is it. We're done. And it's not the other way around. Like Disney apparently wanted at least one more season from them, and Alex was like, I know creatively, I think we're good, and that's rare.
I so respect that, because when you have a show planned out that well and everything is just, you have a clear ending for the most part, then that is. Yeah, I mean, you're not just chasing money at that point. Because I'm sure they would have paid him more money. I'm sure they could have given him a bigger budget for like more animation. Like they probably would have upped the season.
Well, I know they gave him more money for the finale for Weird Mageddon. Right. Like that, they go out of his way for the guy. Yeah. So,
but and he stuck to his guns, and he decided, like, nope, this is it. This is the story that I want to tell.
Which is it's very refreshing, that someone could do that, because, like Lost, like, look, I enjoy Lost. I'm the one of the few people that stick up for that fucking show. Yeah. But I mean, they didn't really know where they were going till season 3, and even then, I think that they have this horrible problem of we have so many episodes a season, and I think this is a small critique on Lost. I think they realize we're not going to end it the way people want to. And again, bully for you. But I think that they're just like, we're going to make it about the characters and not the mysteries. Right. And I think those last few seasons were really about that. And it's just like, no, you just kept giving us more mysteries in the process, you pieces of shit.
Supernatural, same thing. They had, the creator, Eric Kripke, had a very clear 5-season arc. And 5 seasons, and he tied it up exactly how he wanted to, and then he was like, well, that was it. I'm stepping away from the show because I told the story I wanted to tell. And then CW was like, oh, we want more. And so the next showrunner was like, I don't know what to do. So that's why there is a...
Is it Ben England, the showrunner, or was he the showrunner?
I think he was a showrunner at one point. He might have been just one of the head writers. The thing with Supernatural is there's a clear dip, and season 6 is not a great season. I think that's generally agreed upon. Yeah. But I would say some of the later seasons, like, I think I really liked 8. They introduced some new lore into the show that I really enjoyed personally. Season 10 was good.
Are they still 20 episode seasons still, or?
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah. See, and that's the thing too. That stuff's hard. Because I would say different than animation is that it takes longer to do animation, but the way Nickelodeon and Disney now do these shows is for one season usually. Like honestly, I don't think they're doing well. They're kind of fucking up with DuckTales a little bit continuity wise because they're airing it out of order,
which never makes sense to me. Because
my only complaint has been there's no Scrooge or Donald, and they're just like, guys, we didn't mean this to happen this way. We actually had everything paced out where there's one episode we gave me maybe too much Scrooge, so then there's one episode there's no Scrooge. It's all about the kids, and I'm just like. And yeah, because this last 2 episodes, they answered my one complaint. I was like, where's Scrooge and Donald at? And now it's been Scrooge, which is, But again, it's not horrible, but they usually, I know Nickelodeon is horrible at this. They do it with Star Wars Rebels too. And I think they do it so they can get more money. They break the season up into volumes, and they break it. Yeah, so technically, I think Gravity Falls has 4 or 5 volumes you can buy on Amazon.
Yeah.
Even though it's technically only 2 seasons. Like Hulu, if you watch it, it's just 2 seasons, 20 episodes a piece.
Right.
The live action, though, they don't do that. They could, but usually they just go, it's aired all in one, like, from...
USA did that.
Kind of does that.
Burn Notice and
Psych.
And all Psych and stuff.
Yeah,
they would do, like...
That's true.
Like, half seasons, which I actually liked, but it was still... so it would be like, it's the midsummer
finale.
And then you'd wait like 2 or 3 months and you'd get another
episode,
12 chunk arc. And I'm like, this is perfect. This is great.
But you don't know which season, though.
Right, because at that point, then it's like, it's still technically the first season, but it feels like the end of the second season.
I used to watch all their shows up until the one FBI narc one, and that because they were Graceland. They were trying to get into that. We're super serious now. Because Psycho, I think, was the last vestige of wacky comedy that they were doing. And look, I respect them for that. They want to compete with. But I would watch Royal Pains, Psych, Monk. Burn Notice, even Burn Notice at the end, I was just like, oh God, I have to watch Burn Notice. I've already got this far.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but it's the same thing. They would always watch the midsummer finale of Burn Notice after Psych on USA. Yeah. Characters welcome. Yeah.
And Psych
is coming back for Christmas.
December 7th. I'm so excited.
Oh man. The only thing I'm kind of bummed about, but it's not his fault, is Timothy Ummanson had a stroke.
Yeah. So
looks like he's doing better.
Yeah, but he unfortunately, because of that, he couldn't be in... They had to rewrite some of the stuff because he had a bigger role in the Psych movie, but he had the stroke, and so they were like, well, we still want you in it, but we understand that you need to recover, so we'll lessen your... Which just...
He was the best part of Gallivant.
Oh, yeah.
And matter of fact, that was the one thing I looked forward to. And I didn't end up watching season 2 yet. I know it's out there. I think it's on Netflix now, too.
Yeah.
But he became the lead, like, not the bad guy lead, but, like, he was teamed up with Gallivant to get the kingdom back, which I was just like, that's... awesome.
They gave him a great little storyline.
Did they? Good, man. Because honestly, I feel like they were writing it and halfway through, they're just like, everyone seems to really like Timothy Ummanson. Yeah. We like Timothy Ummanson. Maybe we should put him in the lead section a little bit more.
And he had a cool little guest arc in Supernatural too.
Did he? Oh, see. Yeah. I just like Timothy Ummanson. And the thing is, I wouldn't have known about him if it wasn't for Psych. And I know he's been around for years.
I know. The first time I ever remember seeing him was in Psych. And then I think I looked him up and I was like, I might have seen like a couple of the other things that he's done. I'm like, oh, he's that.
I would say the same thing about Corbin Burnson, but that might piss him off. No. Well, I was like, I've never seen Major League. Yeah. Anyway, so Gravity Falls.
Yes.
Ba-boom. It's very character-driven, which is nice and refreshing. They do try to ship Wendy and Dipper together, I
was literally about to bring that up. That's one of my only complaints is it was just a little... I get what they were going with it, because Dipper's like 12 or 13 or something like that.
Yeah.
And Wendy
she's 15.
is like, 15 or 16 or something. Old enough that age difference is a little weird. If it was more like 15 and 17, okay. But like... 12 and 16.
I think it was 2 and 15, or 2 and 15. Whoa, well, we're getting into new territory here. Gravity Falls, breaking barriers. Okay, well, I will say one of the things that freaked me out was because I've never seen any Disney Channel show, not even like Zula the Magician or whatever the fuck it is, or That's So Raven. That's one probably more people our age actually fucking know about because we fucking hate all those. Or Hannah Montana, is that they don't talk about bras or anything like that. And there's that one episode, he's like chilling out with her on the bed, and she's like, dude, you're like kind of on my bra, you need to get off it, that's kind of weird. And he's like, what? Oh my god, where? Yeah, and I'm just like, really?
Yeah.
like I mean, that's awesome. It's a very real thing,
right?
Well,
and I think that was mostly, it was the pining over her.
It's the wordplay.
It's mostly in the first season, and I think they heard some of the complaints that it was like, because it was going a little strong, and they were like, it's getting a little creepy.
Really? I don't know, but I like shipping characters though.
Right. Well, for like one episode, Wendy seemed to not be interested, but not be creeped out by how intense Dipper was being. And for a second on the internet, people were worried, like, oh, please don't let her, like, fall in love with, like, no. And he didn't. They didn't.
Well, I think she does genuinely like him, that, especially by the end of the episode, end of the season. But she's just more like, I think it's. She's like, I'm going to probably wait. Maybe, I don't know. The general vibe though I got was, it's like, I really like you, man. Like,
but
no matter.
You're too young,
It's kind of, and then because she actually has one of the best parts of the finale, which is like, I'll see you next summer, and it's just like, aww.
Yeah.
And that could go both ways.
Right.
Well, maybe it's because I like I feel sympathy towards the unrequited. That's why I love the classic, those 80s movies. I can't think of the guy's name right now. I feel really, really bad. This is worse than normal. He did like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Breakfast Club.
Hughes?
Yeah, the Hughes movies. What's his first name? John
The
Hughes.
most generic name.
Jesus Christ. I should have known. No, this whole day has been bad. John Hughes. I've like, Jesus, Ducky.
Yeah.
I'm not the guy that goes, man, I feel really bad for fucking Emilio Estevez and the Breakfast Club.
Right.
That piece of shit. I feel bad for, Anthony Michael Hall and but that's what I'm saying, like, in Ducky, like, all those guys. And so, like, I just instantly just go, oh, Dipper. I want him to succeed, but they handle it in a very adult way, though, which was nice.
Well, and it's a realistic scenario,
Yeah. It's like, dude, I can hear you when you mumble to yourself, right? And I've heard you this entire time. I've always known that you've liked me.
Yeah.
And then they do a few different, especially the second season, they really hit that over the head.
Yeah.
There's that one creepy episode where Mark Hamill plays the weird clone alien creature.
Yeah.
And, like, it's Wendy and him are paired off together, and they're stuck together, and, like, he kind of full out says, like, I've loved you, I've always loved you, oh my god, please don't die on me. He's like, Dipper, I'm over here, man, like, that's the alien. And he's like, oh, I didn't say that. No, it's okay, man, I can hear you all the time when you mumble to yourself. I'm like, oh no. Well, yeah, but at the same time you're just like, but that makes sense, because you
and it's cool because like, she gets it, he's got a crush on her.
Yes.
She's aware of it.
And he's also trying to act tougher and older too, to fit in.
She's not like a dick about it,
which is cool.
You could have had like, dude, at some point that just sort of like, dude, it's never gonna happen. Like, no, but she's also not encouraging him, like.
Well, yes, okay. So this is a conversation which is in today's climate.
Yeah.
Could be. Is she possibly encouraging him by not saying, it's like, look, I will never like you like that. But I like you as a friend, but, like, you're too young for me, and I don't think I really like you like that. I feel like if she would have had that conversation, it would have been very much like, okay, we're a work family then.
Right.
And that's awesome. But, again, I felt it was left very, like, see you next summer, if not...
like, he did kind of save the world, so...
I mean, that's kind of sweet.
Maybe just wait a year and...
Yeah, maybe
let him have a great...
Let the balls drop. let more than one hair show up before Mabel yanks it off his chest skin. Which that was an episode where you felt that's where you meet the bear, the multi-headed bear, and which a weird subplot, which is all these mutant minotaurs. They're like, we will help you become, your final quest to become a man is you must murder the multi-headed bear because he likes music that is feminine. And he realizes it's the same song Dipper sings to himself, which I think they hinted at that like another episode previously. He likes weird girly pop songs, and this one it's like, it's not ABBA, I think it's DABBA.
Yeah.
It's ABBA.
Right.
But that's the other thing too, their music selection, it's original, but it's not. But it's just enough, like the Don't Stop, it's not Believing, but she sings it during Pacifica Northwest.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But it's very obvious, like, it's Don't Stop Believing, but it's not.
Right.
And it's so funny and good, but it's actually a good song kind of too. It's just like, you're like, I hate this show so much for being so good.
That age thing, that was my only real complaint about the show, which is pretty minor in the scope of things.
My complaint, I didn't have a problem with that. But again, I'm just like, I wouldn't mind seeing him get it. But my complaint, though, and they kind of address it a little bit, was I get why Ford didn't do what he did in terms of just telling Stan. And that kind of became the whole point of Weirdmageddon, which is the last 3 episodes. But I'm like, dude, just fucking say thank you. Yeah. That's all. Because so the last half, so the whole purpose of the purpose. That won't happen again, folks. I don't have it geared up, ready to go. The whole purpose is that Ford opened a portal that Bill could come through, but in the process, Stan came back, found Ford, they got into an argument, and Ford got sucked through the portal. Right. And it closed, but in the process, the portal got damaged, and he doesn't know where all the books are, because Ford's like, Bill Cipher's crazy, he's going to destroy the world. So he hid the journals. So Stan has one, and the whole purpose is just getting them all together so they can open the portal and save Ford.
Right. The whole thing, at first, it's sort of a long mystery. At first, you're like, oh no, is Grunkle Stan like up to something real shady? And then it turns out like, no, he's just trying to save his brother.
Yeah, and which goes into family, the theme of family. And when he does pull him through, he never says thank you. Mm-hmm. And you kind of understand Ford's point, which is, look, you're a con man, you're a hack, you've fumbled and fucked your way through life. Yeah. You stole my life, technically, to do the Mystery Shack, and you suck at that, too, which technically I don't agree with that. Yeah. But he pretty much just railroads him. Yeah. And Stan just really, he's like, and Stan seems kind of like, look, I get it, we're different, you don't like me, but there's a part of him is just also like, I just want to thank you. Yeah. I did a lot. I've done nothing but for the last 20 years, do nothing but try to save you. Yeah. And I don't even get a thank you. And that's kind of the whole, and you really do feel bad for him. And of course that leads to the finale, the last few moments, which is and even then he still doesn't say thank you. Yeah. And that irked me all to shit. And now here's the question. So for those listening or don't remember or you don't really care at this point because you're still here, obviously, if you've not seen it, but it comes down to Bill Cipher can get into your head. Mm-hmm. Stan has something in there that Bill can't get in there. But as long as if he goes in your head and you make a deal with him, or even if you make a deal with him on the outside plane, it's done. He can get into your head and take over. So, but Bill really wants into Ford's head, and the only way he can do it is he has to actually make the deal. Right. So everything horrible is going down. It does not look good, and Stan or Ford just goes, "Hey, let's do the deal." And he shakes the deal, and you realize that at some point they switched clothes, and even make a reference. He's like, one of the one things I was really good at was always mimicking my brother's voice, and you're like, oh no, and they realize that, and there's also a gun that can destroy your memory. Yeah, we've not talked about that at all. Right, and so the real Ford turns it on, removing all memories of Stan Pines, and destroys Bill Cipher from within Stanford's mind. And it's heart-wrenching. Yep. And he just goes, you never mess with my family. He destroys them. Bill says something really creepy backwards, which stands Axetol, even though I burn now, please open a window that I might return, which is like, oh no. Yeah, but it ends with Stanford losing his memories and probably never getting them back. Even though it's Disney, he does. Right. But then it leads to the question of, but does he really? Right. Or is it Bill? Yeah. That's the whole thing. But even then, he never says thank you to him. And that is the only thing that bothered me. Unless you can say, well, Ford knows it's Bill, and so he's watching over him. Yeah. But still, I just feel like I watched a video on this. Is why do you feel sad, or why do you feel emotionally moved, or why do you cry at endings? And he said, here are like 5 different things. And the one common theme in all of them is injustice. And when you think about Gravity Falls, it's a perfect example of that. It's the injustice of, the kids I don't think really appreciate Stan. Right. And that was part of an arc too, is that Dipper is more like Ford. Mabel is kind of more like Stan. Yeah. Well, in basic themes. And so, and then they drifted apart, and Mabel and Dipper, they don't ever want to do that. Right. So they're like, look, we're different, we're growing apart, but it doesn't mean we can't still be super close, which that's another thing. And so, I'm just like, the injustice of it is that they don't really understand how much he loves the kids. They don't understand how hard it was for him to do what he did to get Ford back. It's just tons of injustice happening, and then he loses his memory in the process. And of course, it's Disney, so he gets it back, kind of. You think we still don't know officially, but yeah. And so I'm just like, God damn it. Yeah.
Kristen's complaint. Now,
Yeah. So this is she's only seen 3
episodes. Okay. But her major complaint.
Oh boy.
And it's major.
Oh no.
Not enough goat. She loves the goat.
The goat.
Now she hasn't met Waddles yet. But she likes goats in general.
Goat.
And
that goat shows up surprisingly a lot.
It does.
And matter of fact,
she's in for a treat.
Kristen, if you happen to listen to this before you watch the end of that show, that goat is kind of a huge part of Weirdmageddon. He's one of the weird monsters.
Yeah.
Well, he just grows into a gigantic fucking goat.
Giant goat.
Yeah, and he eats everything, okay, let's talk about Weirdmageddon a little bit too, because that's awesome for tons of reasons, because it wraps. Jon Stewart has a cameo, which I didn't know that was Jon Stewart. Touching on the Wendy and Dipper thing, as they play with that too, which is just like, Dipper, I've always loved you, and Dipper's like, wait, no, this is reality. You don't feel that way about me. You're an imagination. Yeah, it's the weird bubbles you go through, and it's like a different reality.
Yeah,
in which it will probably drive you insane unless you're used to. I mean, all that stuff.
Oh yeah, it was fantastic. Just the visuals alone in that are just amazing.
They flipped the opening to make it Bill Cipher in the opening, and the song is just enough flat. It's flat on some of the parts. And the more, I think, when you get to part 2 and part 3, the intro gets weirder and weirder, to the point where there's no Dipper or Mabel, I think, until the last one or something, where it shows the whole gang together again. But still, Bill Cipher's chasing it. Oh,
yeah, it's such a good
show. What's your favorite episode of all of them? I know, and I love all of them, but if you had to pinpoint one episode.
Yeah, now it's been a while since I've seen all of it. Obviously, the Weirdmageddon stuff stands out because it's
the finale. It's the finale. It's a complete story, kind of too.
It's the culmination of everything. I don't know. As far as one-offs go, though, I would say I do like the Time
Baby. Yeah. Now, which one? The first one or the second one where they have to joust it out? That's the season 2. Yeah, which
I don't know.
And I liked how they took that off the board pretty quick. It's like, the Time Baby's here, and you're like, well, this will be good. Yeah. Fucking kill the Time Baby. This, bam, erases him from existence. It's shit. Yeah, no, exactly. You're like, well, that didn't go well at all.
I did like finding out, and I don't remember if this happened in Weirdmageddon, because again, it's been a while. Yeah. But, I liked finding out about the backstory with McGurkin, old man McGurkin.
That happened over a series of few episodes. Yeah, I think. Yeah, actually, it's the first time when you find the portal gun that erases your memory. Mm-hmm. That's with the secret sect, and they're the ones who actually. That's right. He volunteered it at first.
This was the whole town is part, or.
Well, he explains how the town gets away, because that is kind of a minor complaint in the first season. Is how does no one fucking see the gnomes? Yeah. And it's because this cult's been around the whole time, fucking erasing their memories, and that's how they're all okay with it. And of course, by the end of the finale of Weirdmageddon, there's just people just want to forget what happened and go on with their lives, which I was like, okay, I will let that go.
Just they any complaint that you have while you're watching will probably
eventually
get addressed.
By the end of the series. And for we'll throw this out there too. If you watched the show, you really enjoyed it, and you're curious about the whole Bill and Stan thing, there was an actual real-life cipher hunt that Alex Hirsch put together 6 months after. Again, is one of those ones I wish we both missed it. Me way later than you. Right. But they actually had which called for Disney XD fans from all over the world to help out and help each other.
It had to be around the world.
Some of the actors were doing press for other projects in Russia, Georgia, and they would put flyers up for Alex. I think Kristen Shaw put one up in Russia for some kind of project. What? Yeah. And so fans found that there, and then he put up a real stage. So when Bill leaves his body to shake someone's hand, or when he shakes someone's hand, he leaves his body to go into your mind, he becomes a statue. Yeah. And so the show kind of ends on, animated wise, the statue of Bill Cipher still left there, and that's kind of it. But then at the end, the credits, instead of the weird message, I think it says thanks for listening or something thanks for watching. But there's a real picture of a real life statue of Bill Cipher that Alex Hirsch made of foam with his own money, got permission from Disney. They drove it out to the middle of fucking nowhere in Oregon and put a real Bill Cipher statue up, and he put with it a bunch of shit.
Yeah, just merch, just
like merch,
behind
weird
the scenes stuff.
But the most interesting part is a USB drive that had the original pilot that he pitched to Disney with, which is kind of different enough that, and it looks very Flash based, which is interesting. Gravity Falls is actually animated; it's not with Flash.
Right.
And then the other thing is there's a message from Stan. It says, "Hey, so you found my statue? I mean, Bill Cipher statue, like." Oh, and so that's when you're just like, oh no. So it leads into more of the mystery that if he ever brings it back, oh no.
Yeah. Which, and you know, I was thinking about this today on the way over. Like, you know, I don't know if I'm happy at how popular it was, or if I wish it would have been more popular when it was airing. Because if it would have been more popular, he probably would have had way more pressure to keep it going, which ultimately could have been bad for the show overall. But I'm hoping that, like many shows now, that it's on Hulu, that it's on streaming, people will binge it, and it'll get this fan base behind it, even though it's over, and then it can come back as like a special, you know.
That's what I would really like. Just like Psych, like if it comes off well, you people might not remember this. Actually, if you're our age, you might remember. But they used to do that with Matlock. Granted, it's crime shows, but they would do like Columbo. They would do like 2 or 3 hour movies, events where the characters would come back and you watch them do their wacky thing again. Like, oh, one more thing. And you're like, oh, Columbo doing the one more thing. How I've missed you for the last, you were last year. But that's a year with and it's a very well told, for the most part, complete story. But yeah, so that's why we're looking forward to Psych. Yeah. And so, and Alex Hirsch would love to do stuff like that. I think at that point it's also in Disney hands. Right. And they want to do a DVD set, and Disney is kind of not letting them, which they're believing it's the digital market. And so, and they're like, but we could do so many extras. We could talk about so much stuff.
Commentary. That's the thing that is kind of a bummer about not having physical media.
Yes.
Like, I love Netflix. I love being able to watch stuff on, like, Hulu and the internet and stuff. But, like, I love bloopers. And quite often, they're only on DVDs. You might be able to find, like, somebody...
And cartoons harder, too, because it gets really filthy.
Well, yeah. That's the other... And especially, they don't have animation for it. It's usually just the, like, audio. And, like... But I want that. I want to hear... Like, I want to hear Kristen Shaw, like, as Mabel, like... mess up. You know?
All
out of the character.
All of them, yeah. Well, also, I'll put this in the show notes too. But there's so for those who don't know, the group Lemon Demon, which is really a guy. He did the Harry Potter pals as well. People might also know him, but he did the song "It's the Battle of Ultimate Destiny." He wrote music for Gravity Falls, so he would occasionally pitch music. I think I sent you and our friend Becky from MyLab this. It's a cut song he did for Weird Mageddon, and it is phenomenal. It's a good villain song, and it pretty much, I mean, it is creepy, and a fan took storyboard ideas and then made it more animatic, and it looks sweet. So I'll post that there, because matter of fact, I saw that right away. I was like, oh my god, this is a cut song, and I was just like, why? Because Amy said he was just like, I really wanted to see Alex Hirsch perform this, but we had to make some choices budget-wise, and so it got cut. Right. And I'm just like...
One of my favorite things from Gravity Falls was Jason Ritter and Kristen Shaw went to some event to promote Gravity Falls.
Up in
they actually cosplayed as their characters, which was just fantastic. I mean...
Well, they really did enjoy that show, which is nice. And I will say, though, too, if you get a chance, did you ever watch Eli Stone when it was on? Okay. So Mark Guggenheim is the guy, he's the guy who's running Arrowverse right now on CW. His wife did Agent Carter. I think it's Tara Butters. I could be wrong, but they also did Reaper.
I love Reaper.
Right, now, The Workbench, which is in Reaper, made a few appearances in the second season of Eli Stone. Now, guess who's running the show Kevin Probably Saves the World? The group from Agent Carter. And my first thought was, oh my god, please put Eli Stone in Reaper and have it all be the same, because it does this thing where meteor lands, Kevin, who is a giant asshole, Jason Ritter, touches it, and now God is talking to him. Right. Well, it's not God, it's an angel talking for God. But it's one of those things. But first off, Jason Ritter's really good in it. But I tweeted about it, and then Mark Guggenheim and Jason Ritter both liked my tweet. But no, I really was just like, I would love to see them somehow tie it all in together. Yeah. Like, wouldn't that be weird if like he has to go save Eli Stone?
Yeah.
Or like Eli Stone like is his lawyer. Yeah. I mean, let's be honest, Elementary's done, people. Come on. Like I love all those actors, but come on.
Eli Stone was a good show. And I don't like, typically like I'm not super into like the religious like stuff. Now, with the exceptions of like Wonder Falls by Brian Fuller.
That had some I've not seen it.
Well, ambiguously, it was like
ambiguously gay Christian show. Sorry,
she was
not
like
the gay Christian
it was
show.
Like the same thing that like Joan of Arc had.
I gotcha. There's a higher power. Well, same thing here. It's God, but it's not. Mm-hmm. It's a higher thing.
Yeah,
and
I haven't watched it yet, but I do want.
Because Eli Stone did that delicate bounce where it's like it is God and he's talking to you.
Right, but it was more of like a hallucination. But he also had a brain tumor, so it was like, is it God or is it the brain tumor?
Which that's why season 2, and then which I really love the tragedy of and all the flash forwards. People don't really recognize Eli Stone. They talk about him like he's there, which means, and I remember when I interviewed Mark, he was just like, well, remember this, all prophets die, horrible deaths. And you're just like, so if the show kept going.
Yeah. Bums Reaper.
Right. Me too.
Because both my friend Cody.
Everybody knows Cody. Everybody knows Cody, just like Ray. Everybody knows.
Both him and I, we have a shared love of, oh no, you gave it to me. I can't think of his name. Hold on, pause.
You're welcome. Pause for dramatic effect. Today's brain damage is brought to you by the letter...
I can picture him.
Alzheimer's.
He's in Reaper.
Ray Wise?
No, the other one.
Oh, the guy who's in every show that gets canceled. Mm-hmm. He was on Breaking In and The Loop.
Yep. Tyler Labine.
Oh no, Tyler Labine.
He
has the same problem too.
We love Tyler Labine to the point where I was telling Cody about this show. I was like, because we love Reaper. Reaper was great. Anything Tyler Labine's in. But I was telling him about this show. I was like, okay, it was a show about this band who traveled around and they found this medallion and let them see ghosts. And they kept trying to get rid of it, but it just kept reappearing in their pocket. And it was like, I don't even know if it aired a whole season on Fox, but it was like at least half a season aired. And I just thought it was really cool because it's just like this really kind of crappy band traveling around.
I don't remember that.
And I don't remember what it was called offhand, but Tyler Labine, I found the pilot online, and I was like, all right, Cody, I found it. Let's watch it together. And just so that you could see, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's Tyler Labine! Of course, I like it."
So. Well, he's in the new Voltron, by the way.
Oh,
he plays the larger character, like he does. Even in animation, he can't escape it. But no, he's actually good in that as well. But he hasn't been canceled yet, folks. Ooh. But no, I love Tyler Labine. But I would love for. But and here's the other thing too is that Jason Ritter, I think he's twins with the sister in that show, and Kevin Probably Saves the World. And I was just like, another twin show? Matter of fact, I feel it was a reference. It probably wasn't, but I took it as a reference to Gravity Falls, because, they always had the thing, it's like, is this the twin thing where you're reading my mind? Yep, it sure is, Dipper. Or vice versa. Yeah. And it's like, look, you're my twin. You use your twin powers. You know I'm lying. That's how it's like, no, you're actually just a really horrible liar, Kevin. Oh, I thought it was the twin power thing. No, it's never been the twin power thing. Oh. And I was like, was that a Gravity Falls reference? Because that would be cool if it did. But I will say this about Kevin Saves the World, and this is my mini review for that show because I feel it ties in because of Jason Ritter. Mm-hmm. It's really good. It doesn't bash you over the head too much with the religious thing, which I like a lot. And Jason Ritter's in it. He's phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's kind of going the same trajectory. And actually, there's a mystery of there are 35 chosen ones that help bring better people or whatever, and there's only one, and it's Kevin.
Oh.
They don't know what happened to the other 35 or 34, which leads as a matter of fact, the other guardians that were sent to Earth, they're just kind of like, you know what, this is kind of bogus. We don't really believe anymore either. So we're just kind of walking the Earth, chilling out. And so his helper is now just like, so I'm it, and I have Kevin. Oh no! Because Kevin's not all there. Well, at least Eli Stone was a lawyer and had a little bit more of a brain on him. Yeah. Jason Ritter's doing weird stuff. It's kind of funny, but that's the point. But yeah,
the show was called Dead Last.
Dead Last.
Yeah, what find an amulet.
What year did that come out?
Oh gosh.
Let's see. Oh, sorry.
No, I have it still up. It's 2001. So not.
Oh. That long. It's long ago enough, but still, it's not like 1980 something.
Yeah, Tyler Labine, and. Like, he was young, you know?
Oh, my God. Yeah, that's him in... you ever see the movie Antitrust? Mm-mm. He's in that movie. Oh. You and Cody might like it. Now, I will say, though, I actually thought it was a good thriller.
Yeah.
Because one of the coolest parts, and I'm not going to tell you how it ends, but you know how Bill Gates he has this where he has a thing that can read faces, and this is back in like 2003 or something, but he had monitors like this, like high def screens all over his house, and when you enter a room, if he knows you're going to be there, he program do an internet search, or he has someone find it out, what your likes are. And so the whole room will turn over to your images.
That's amazing.
So guess what? You have to go to a high-functioning party and get the evil Bill Gates' info off the computer to show him that he's trying to destroy the world. And it's creepy as fuck where everything in the room, the lights are off, but the monitors are on, and you just see everything's on Ryan Phillippe's, like, he loves dogs or whatever. And you just see pictures of dogs and classical paintings and stuff. And then you just see everything that evil Bill Gates likes, starts slowly turning into the room. And we're like, get out. And I'm going to let that go from there. Yeah. But it is actually a good movie. I thought it was a very good thriller. I mean, it's kind of cheesy too, but Tyler Labine is one of the guys that worked for evil Bill Gates' company. So is he good or is he bad? Because that's the whole thing. Who do you trust? Right. Hubba. I completely forgot. Our friend Nikki Smith, I think it was Nikki. Yeah, she did that the other day, and I was like, who do you love? And she knew I was doing Batman, and then she was like, hubba. I was like, he's fucking did that. I completely forgot. Yeah, he's like, hubba. Money, who do you love? Where's the Batman? And I'm like, whoa, brain. Yeah. I can remember that, but I can't remember the Ferris Bueller guy, John Hughes. No, I was playing that one up that time. Or was it all of the time? Ooh. Maybe you're drunk right now for no reason.
Mystery.
What a... All right, everybody. Thanks for... Do you have anything you want to plug while you're on here?
Yeah, check out Static Copy Island on
That's right, yeah.
YouTube.
I'll post your most recent... Which is really... Okay, let's talk about this real quick. Yeah. Who wrote that?
Greg Mandrick.
Do you know him personally or no?
No, it's a friend of Colleen and Stephen Woosley.
Okay. They do the OGP Productions, which is, they do stuff around Mad Lab, yeah.
Yep. And it was submitted as a play for the Ghoulish production, the Halloween production that OGP did.
That was fucking good. You guys did a wonderful job with it. It was wonderful, but you guys did a wonderful... fucking creeped me out.
So Colleen read it and said, this is really good, but I feel like it would be way better as a filmed thing rather than a stage production. And so she approached me and said, hey, would you be interested in filming this for this Halloween show?
It's really good.
And so we read it, we thought like, okay, yeah, we can do this. And so
I'll post that in the links too, and I'll click a link into the show notes too, saying if you want to subscribe, check out SAC. They have a bunch of other great videos in there too.
Yeah, and we're planning to do a whole bunch more. We're probably going to do some Friday, and
nice.
So yeah, we're really excited. Yeah, definitely subscribe if you can.
Yeah, the more subscribers you get, it helps you guys out too.
Right, and I promise we're not gonna do the thing where it's like, all right, here's our video, guys. Like and subscribe. Like, nope. Just if you just subscribe. We're gonna put out stuff. It shouldn't be too annoying.
Be cool, man. Yeah. It's all cool.
We want is to get to 100 followers so that we can change our URL to YouTube/Static Copy Island.
Such a simple goal, really.
Right. I mean, that's all.
But yeah, it's really awesome, and there's some funny stuff in there too. But there's some serious stuff. Check that out. It's really good. Static Copy Island. The links will be in the show notes, and you can see us both. This will go up by then. You can see us and Rocky Moinkle at Mad Lab. So that'll be in the show notes too. Yeah. And you heard us talk about the opening. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Have a good... and thank you, Shane.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. This is always fun. All right. Thanks for listening. See you next episode.
Get out of here without cheese! You're a creep! Go away! We're having a good time until you start up, cheapers! Go have some coffee with cream or something, because I'll tell you something. This is a happy place.